Beyond Synth 351.
Beyond Synth Radio. That's what this is.
Up next, Marko and Andy spin the best in new synthwave, dark synth, synth pop, and electronic tunes. It's the Marko and Andy Power Hour.
It's the Marko and Andy Power Hour. With Andy Last.
Well, you know I love Goldeneye.
And Marko Marek.
I'm from fucking Australia. Oh yeah, that's right. You got to say hello first.
Who, me?
Yeah, you, man, because like your name's on the tin first.
Why do I have to say hello? Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome to Beyond Synth, the best chat show there is.
No, he just said welcome to the Power Hour.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant. And then welcome. All right. Hey everyone, welcome to the Power Hour. Well, I don't know. What do you want me to do? Jesus.
We're still...
You give me too much responsibility, man.
We're still trying to figure things out here on this exciting new season of Beyond Synth, where everything goes. We got all these new shows. I just thought it would be fun because since it's called the Marko and Andy Power Hour, that you should be the first person to talk. That was my thinking.
Power Hour.
There you go. Anyways, so the point is, Marko and I are here, and we like to play cool music, and that's what we're going to be doing and having a chat. And today we are joined by an awesome Beyond Synth patron. That's right, because we're still doing that because it's a fun thing to do.
Hell yeah.
There's all these awesome people out there who support the show and are cool people, and if you're one of the higher tier donors, you get to come on and join Marko and I for a show. So today we are chatting with Karl, a.k.a. Weyland Caskey Geospatial. Hello, Karl.
Hi, Andy. Hi, Marko.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. How about y'all?
Good. Welcome to the show, buddy.
I like when people call me y'all. That's fun.
I think it's referring to me.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I'm not cool enough to be y'all.
No.
That's Marko. So, tell us a bit about Karl. What do people need to know?
Well, Karl is a regular data guy. I work on regional planning for the Dallas-Fort Worth area, working out of my home office. I do stuff with imagery, and also I serve in the Texas Army National Guard as a warrant officer. I've been listening to y'all's program when I was getting ready to be a warrant officer, and so that was very helpful on those long ruck marches. Listening to y'all's banter that got me through it.
That's right. Remember Marko when we were talking about ruck marches?
Yeah, I do remember that, yes.
Yeah, every time I look at my rucksack, I think of the whole scrotum thing that you mentioned, Marko.
That's right, good memory.
That's right, because you've written in some letters that I've read in the past. But it's always fun to put a voice to the person, because I'm reading these things and I'm seeing Weyland Caskey Geospatial, and I'm always trying to... we should talk about that too. I want to figure all these things out.
Absolutely.
But first, we got to listen to some music, so I got a track here. I'll play mine first, all right?
I thought my name was first. How come you go first?
Well, because...
I know, it's all right. Just go ahead. Fine.
Hey, man, don't fuck with the playlist. It's already established. But look, the point is this. All right, I got a cool track here from Dream Kid, and we're going to listen to that right now. This is Fatal Attraction by Dream Kid.
You into darkness. You gotta get away.
And that was Dream Kid with the track Fatal Attraction. And this is the Marko and Andy Power Hour with special guest, awesome patron Karl, a.k.a. Weyland Caskey Geospatial. But before we keep talking, I have 4 things to say. So here goes. I'm going to do it real fast. Number 1, Binkley has upgraded his support. That's right, Binkley's a cool guy. He's now in the $10 club. Thank you very much, Binkley. You are cool, and I appreciate your support. Number 2, we have a new patron in the $5 club. It is Starjacker42. That's right. And the E in Jacker is a 3. So it's like StarJack3R42, so your name looks like a password. Thank you so much for supporting the show, Starjacker. You're cool. And everyone who supports Beyond Synth at patreon.com is cool. Number 3, I received a kind gift from Artificial. Artificial sent in a bonus donation to the show, and I appreciate it. Artificial's a cool guy. We ended up playing some Perfect Dark online the other day. It was Artificial, and a star apart was there, and it worked okay, so I'm hoping to do more of that, playing some online Perfect Dark with people, because for those of you who don't know, they put GoldenEye out on the Xbox and the Switch, and the Xbox version does not have online, but you can play Perfect Dark, because Perfect Dark has GoldenEye maps and GoldenEye guns, and it is GoldenEye. So that's something. And finally, number 4, we have a birthday.
It's time for Beyond Synth birthdays. Now that's a game changer.
That's right, I forgot to mention this birthday in the last episode because I am disorganized, but a very happy birthday to Edward Knights, a.k.a. The Naked Flame. Go check out the music of The Naked Flame at thenakedflame.bandcamp.com. Happy belated birthday to you. That was January 29th, the same day as Mike Bailey. I have a lot of patrons who have like birthdays on the same day. It's interesting. Anyways, the point is this. Happy birthday to thenakedflame.bandcamp.com, Mr. Edward Knights, and I hope you had a lovely birthday. Okay.
Happy birthday.
Okay, I'm going to play a jingle because I'm finished my 4 points. All right, and now Karl, it's back to you. So what goes down in the Dallas-Fort Worth area?
Lots of traffic. Lots of traffic and lots of growth. It's one of the fastest growing areas of Texas. Pretty much every big city in Texas is growing fast because we're getting a lot of people moving in from other states. But what I do is I've got a small little place out in country, just about an hour south of there, and just finally moved into it over the summer. Took a couple of years to get the house built, and so I enjoy having my own space, and taming the frontier because there's weeds and grass everywhere. It's muddy. So it's just kind of like, here's your house, have fun with it. I'm like, but the driveway, it's kind of floods when it rains. I'm like, well, figure it out.
Did you figure it out?
Not yet. I still got to do like some work on it. It's a ongoing project. I split my time between Dallas, Fort Worth, and Austin. I mostly live down in the Austin area with my fiance, and go up to DFW for military and my civilian work when I actually have to be in office.
Well, you sound like a very busy guy.
Yeah, I sound kind of important. I sound like something like out of the TV show Dallas, you know, send Bobby on down to Austin to go deal with those senators. You know, that's kind of how I feel, you know, going up and down I-35.
Well, I'll tell you what's perfect for driving down the I-35 is just cranking those sweet tunes as you drive along. And speaking of which, Marco's going to play one now.
You have the best segues, I swear. Yeah, I got a new track here from Jarend. It's a really good vocal track. Just came out. It's called No More Light, and it features Ian J.
I've been drinking lately, just to let you know. Maybe once you loved me crazy. Now darkness fades that out. Wonder where this life will take me. I need a light to turn it around. Sun don't rise without
All right, and that was No More Light by Jarend, featuring, who is it, Ian J?
Ian J, that's right, with a J.
Why doesn't it say that on the fucking, hold on.
It does say that.
Well, yeah, I bought the damn song, but it doesn't say it in the MP3.
Don't worry about that. All right?
All right, featuring Ian J, and I'm back. We're back, I should say, because it's the Marko and Andy Power Hour. I'm here with Marko, and today Marko and I are joined by Karl, all the way from somewhere in between Dallas, Fort Worth, and Austin. He's got a muddy driveway.
My driveway's muddy too.
There you
go.
go.
My driveway's muddy too. Good luck with that. I still haven't figured it out. So good luck with that shit.
Yeah, I don't have as much vegetation as yours because, I don't think I could go out in my front lawn like you did in just your underwear.
You couldn't? Why? Because you get burnt?
Well, burnt for sure, absolutely. But no, it's just flat open space. You can see for miles around, so.
Look, all I can say is be yourself. If you want to do it, do it. Don't worry about what other people think, all right? If you want to get out there in your jocks, if you want to get there in your jocks, just do it.
Marko has no shame.
I bet it doesn't snow there too much, though.
If we're lucky, we get snow once a year. Really, we don't want snow here in Texas, not after the snowmageddon of 2021.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That was not fun because I was up by the Red River when that happened, and we lost power at my parents' house, and all of our pumps froze. We had no water, and the best part is I'd watched John Carpenter's The Thing the day before all that had happened. So,
classic.
What is? Good movie. What is the main weather thing? Where I live, we get cold winters, and that's what everyone associates, Canada with. Like, it gets real cold, but, I don't really live in a tornado area or, like a flood zone or whatever. It always feels like every place has a thing.
Our big issue is, as we transition from winter into spring, and especially spring into summer, is heavy thunderstorms that can spin up tornadoes. Typically around April to May, because we get the cool air from the Rocky Mountains, and that's dry, and then we get all the warm, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico, and those hit, and it's just a nightmare just having to deal with the heavy rains, or the worst is if there's tornadoes that pop up. Even though Texas isn't the main focus of Tornado Alley, that's been slowly shifting east. Just about a mile north of my property in 21, there was a straight line wind, which is kind of like a tornado, but there isn't a big funnel, but it took out part of some houses, and to this day you'll still see houses with tarps on it, or there was this one trailer area that was just completely torn up, and it's like, woof, I don't want that near my house.
So what you got to do? You got to get real thick windows or what?
Good insurance.
Yeah.
Actually, when I was trying to get my house built, I was wanting to have it built out of concrete. These concrete forms like gigantic cinder blocks, but they're foam blocks, and then they pour cement in between. I was like, hey, it's cool. But because of COVID and all the stuff, the builder's like, how small your house is, we'll just do it out of wood. Well, then COVID really hit with the supply chain. Oh, hey, lumber now costs more. I was like, well, could I have just stuck with that concrete? Would that have been cheaper than the lumber?
This sounds like a wacky retelling of the Three Little Pigs story, man.
Absolutely.
Well, we'll talk more about this in a second because we got to listen to some more music. So I got a track here from Euan Ellis from the album Constellation. Was this an album or is this just like a little short EP? I can't remember. Anyways, the point is that this song is cool. It's called Another Place by Euan Ellis. All right, and that was Euan Ellis with the track Another Place. And go check that out, man. I really dig that guy's sound. He makes cool music. And I'm back with Marko on this Power Hour. We're here with Kyle. We're talking about the three little pigs. He's got a house out of wood. He wants it out of bricks. Some sort of wall of wind or something that's going to tear it down. So that's the wolf in this metaphor. And I hope that doesn't happen. That's my New Year's wish for you.
It's great.
I'm always keeping an eye on my property because, like I said, I split my time between my property near Dallas and I live down here in Austin. And right around the Christmas time, we had a real deep cold. It was just enough that it tripped the power out in that area. And all of a sudden, I'm like, wait, I don't have connectivity to my house. It's really cold. And I had to shut off the water. So I was afraid the house was gonna drop below a certain temperature, but fortunately the power turned back on. But yeah, it's just all the fun of trying to keep an eye on a place remotely. Right. And I'll be that a little bit more this year as I head overseas once again. Yeah, so we got to talk about that too, because you also are in the National Guard. Is that correct? Yes, Andy, I am. So. Your research assistant has done a really good job on this. Yeah. His name's Randy Fast.
No, that'd be me. I'm the assistant.
Sorry, it was Marko. It was all Marko.
Not boasting or anything. No boasting, all right.
Wait, so then you gotta like set up a little robot in your little house to fucking watch over it while you're gone? What's your fiance doing? Can't she watch the houch, or is she living at a different place? Houch, I just call it a houch. So we're all clear. Houch. No, she lives here in Austin, and she is a deputy for the county, so she doesn't really have the ability to go very far because of, her job requirements. So she's been working for the county for a long period of time. So moving isn't really an option for her until she retires. So
wait, like a deputy sheriff?
That's correct.
Cool. All right.
She's a county sheriff. So she's a better shot than I am when it comes to handguns. So
yeah, you better look out, Andy, if you're going to talk any trash, mate.
That's always the thing I'm worried about, is like, I want to make fun of this guy so much, but I don't want his wife to shoot me. So,
well, there you go.
At the very least, she can tase you.
Right. I don't want to get tased either, man.
No, that's even worse than getting shot sometimes.
Look, we're going to keep talking, okay? But we got to go to a break. So we're going to do that, and we'll be right back.
Give me $2 million in unmarked bills if you ever want to see your family again. Just put the bag in the garbage can on the corner of Conway and Winter and walk away. If you bring cops, everybody dies. Hi, I'm a crazy criminal. You can call me Nathaniel Williams. No, that sounds fake. You can call me Andrew Bennett. Yeah, that's right. I'm sure you're wondering, why should you give me your money? Well, if you missed the first part, I have your family. They're fine right now, but they're depending on you. So remember, the corner of Conway and Winter at 3 p.m. sharp. Oh, and come alone. I got guys watching the skies. So don't forget.
$2 million in unmarked bills.
Everybody dies.
Good evening. This is God. Beyond Synth Radio is listener supported by great people like your friendly neighborhood raccoon, Petey, Cargo Cult Luau, Joshua Winter, Zach, and Gene Creamer Private Eye. Thank you.
All right, and we're back with the Marko and Andy Power Hour. We're learning all these exciting things today about Kyle, who is an awesome Beyond Synth patron who is joining us today. Hey, Marko, do you have any updates from the last time I talked to you?
Oh yeah, lots of shit happened. I picked up my rental car because my car's fucked, but they gave me a free upgrade. So I got a Camry, which is actually a pretty nice car. I like it. That's about it. I picked up the car, did a bit of driving, and I had some Chinese buffet. That's it.
Ooh, what'd you have at the buffet?
Fucking everything. They got that hibachi shit, which I really like. You ever had that where they got the grill and you pick out the food and what sauce you want and they cook it for you right in front of you on the hot grill? It's really good. I love that shit.
I've never been to a buffet that classy. Usually the ones I go to is just the thing with the sneeze guard and the little metal trays that are heated.
Oh, we don't even have a sneeze guard. Please. We're beyond that now. They removed them. But No, it's just basic Chinese. It's not expensive. It's just basic stuff. I don't know. It's just convenient, you know? Like, you don't have to pick anything. You can have a bit of everything. I love that shit.
How much do they charge for the buffets up there? Because like even in the middle of Missouri, it always felt like I'd have to eat a whole bunch of it to get my money's worth out of the buffet.
Honestly, it's pretty cheap. The one I go to is ridiculously cheap. So the price has gone up in the last 2 or 3 years. I mean, obviously with inflation and everything. We just paid $28 for the dinner buffet. So $14 each. It's actually cheaper if you go during the lunch period. I think it's like $10 each or something. So it's pretty cheap.
Okay, so that's pretty similar to what I've seen down here in Texas and in Missouri.
Yeah.
So
Marko gets his money's worth.
I do. I got so full. I actually had to come home and sleep. I didn't know if I'd wake up for this. I only got up at the last minute.
Well, I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm here too.
It would have been a really weird Marko and Andy power hour without Marko.
Thanks. I don't feel very powerful, but thank you.
Yeah, it's too bad. I had a Chinese, like in my small town, we had a Chinese food place that was here my whole life, and they just closed like last year, and it's so weird because like it was just such a staple of my entire life was this place that's downtown.
It sucks.
But right now there's a temporary Caribbean place that does like jerk chicken and stuff, and it's really good, but they only fucking operate like 3 days a week. They just have like this weird schedule.
Weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a restaurant up here like that. It's like 3 days a week. What the fuck is that?
Because I would eat there more often because like in a small town you don't really have many options, and for there to be a place like that pops up in my town, it's like it's very exotic. I like the jerk chicken, and it's a nice big serving. You know, when I bring it home, pour it out on the plate, makes me feel real excited.
Nice.
And that's my story about jerk chicken.
I just like buffet. That's what I love about America. There's so many buffet places. I mean, in Australia, they don't have no fucking buffet Chinese. When I came over, I was like, you got buffet Chinese? It's like, fucking let's go. Sweet. We go there like every 2 weeks just about.
have you been to Golden Corral?
I have. I'll be honest, like, for what it's pretty cheap, and, you know, you can't expect too much for that price. And most of the menu is pretty average. But the steaks that they cook for you, that is worth going for. Oh my God. The second time I went, I was like, I just got steak. Nothing else. I think I got like a chip or two. But man, it's good, those steaks.
Well, you know what else is good? Is good music. So why don't you play me some?
I will. I've got a cool little like metal chiptune track here that I've been digging lately from a tribute compilation by Génération Delphine. I don't really know. I think it's by Génération Delphine. The artist hails from Paris, France, and it is off the album called Time Travelers, a tribute to Future Wars. Not that I know much about it, but I believe it's a tribute to a video game soundtrack. Anyway, the track I want to play is called, I think it's pronounced Mediaeval.
I think that's just pronounced medieval, right?
You think so? Why is it spelled like that then? Is it Mediaeval? Is that part of the story to the game or something?
No, you know like how sometimes people spell demon, but they spell it daemon, but it's still pronounced demon?
Meant Damon. Sorry. All right, I'll do it again.
Just say medieval.
All right. And the track is called Medieval 1304.
All right, and that was Génération Delphine with Mediaeval 1304 from the album Time Travelers, a tribute to future wars. I'm trying to figure out, because I was trying to read the description, but it was all in French.
That's why I have trouble, yeah.
Because maybe it's actually, this is a Génération Delphine. That I don't know if these are covers or if it's just like inspired by.
Well, try Googling. I did a little bit of research and I tried Googling some of the title tracks and I can't find any information on it whatsoever. So it is a possibility, but nothing's coming up. But what do I know, right? I mean, it could be.
Maybe I'll message Génération Delphine and I'll get them to explain this to me. Because yes, I was looking it up, but I'm just like, I'm not sure what this is, but because it did have a video game vibe to it, eh? Like it's a cool song.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, there's been a few tracks I've heard like that over the years where they kind of combine the metal with the chip tune, and it really works well. I also love the artwork featured on it. It's really good.
Yeah, no, it's definitely like, it's a fucking cool thing. What the hell was I going to say? Kyle.
Yes, Andy.
How's it going?
All right.
Hold on here. I got a cough. Jesus Christ.
Jesus, Andy.
I know. I'm still sick.
Fuck me.
Oh my God. I am slowly getting better, but I tend to start coughing right as I go to bed, and I'm told that's because I gotta like prop my head up or something. I don't know.
My wife tells me all that all the time. I'm not propping my head. I can't sleep like that.
I just thought that this is an awesome thing for a fight. Like, I'm not propping my head. Fuck you.
Yeah, it's like, I don't care if you can't sleep because I'm making so much noise. That's not my problem.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm getting that point where when I start to laugh, I feel like all these coughs are coming. Kyle, before we started recording, you were talking about how you drink cold brew coffee, which I found disturbing, but then Marko got mad at me because he said that that's what they do in Australia as well, and like I'm like the outlier.
Yeah, I think it's a common thing down here in the warmer parts of America.
Yep.
I was over at a grocery store and they had this contraption. It was like something out of Back to the Future, and they had cold water above, and then in the middle they had coffee, and they had a little spiral tube, and it'd take 8 hours, or at least that's what they said, for the water to go through all the setup, go through the coffee, and then go down into the container. And it's much more concentrated. But for my setup at home, I just have this big mason jar. It's got a mesh, and I put in about a cup of ground coffee in there, coarsely ground, pour half a gallon of water over it, let it sit in the fridge overnight, pull it out in the morning, take out the grounds, throw those away, and add more water, and boom.
So you don't have some fucking weird like coffee Rube Goldberg machine?
Not yet.
That sounds like fun.
I think it'd be cool to put something like that, but there's that cost diminishing return or something like that. You know, at some point, I don't want to be that guy that's only known for the coffee.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But I tell you what, I like being the guy who's known for playing cool music. So I'm going to play a track now from Second Skin. These guys make cool music, kind of new wave kind of vibes, and it's good stuff, and I dig it. This is Far Away by Second Skin.
Stand so far away.
right, and that was Second Skin with the track Far Away. And we are having a little Marko and Andy Power Hour, but of course we're joined today by Karl, Weyland Caskey Geospatial, who is an awesome Patreon supporter. And if you want to be like Karl and support the show, you too can come on and chat, and I can ask you dumb questions like, I heard you drink cold brew coffee, and other such amazing interview techniques. Why'd you call your Patreon name Weyland Caskey Geospatial?
So I'd gotten back from Europe during the middle of the pandemic. I was listening to your program, I was like, hey, I better get on Patreon. And they didn't want to use my full name, and I deal with mapping. That's been my specialty, both of my civilian and Army career is mapping stuff. And I was like, hey, I like Weyland Core, Weyland Uncanny. And I was like, well, hey, let's imagine if they were, besides building better worlds, they actually had a subsidiary that was out there mapping those worlds. And I was like, hey, let's put my name in there. And don't know if y'all have ever heard the book/TV series The Expanse.
Oh, yeah, I have, yes.
I watched how far did I get in the show? It's funny, I just stopped watching it, but I was really enjoying it. I got to season 2.
Yeah, me too. I got like most of the way through the first season. Most of the first season, I think I watched.
I think that's where I dropped off. I read most of the book series. One of the last books, they were out on a distant planet, system, whatever, and they were having a science team out there, and one of the guys that was doing some of the mapping had my last name. I was like, it's good to know that the Caskey family name continued on well into the future of Earth. So I put all that together and came up with Weyland Caskey Geospatial.
Are you some kind of science fiction nerd?
No, I'm not a science fiction. I don't like that stuff. I prefer romance and drama.
That's a lie. You're lying to me.
The best romance movie is The Terminator. I mean, he comes across time
yes.
first there.
Yes, dude. That is the ultimate romance movie. He's right.
Yes.
My wife thinks the same thing. So I said to my wife, I go, you like romance movies? She goes, this Terminator's a romance movie, right? And I'm like, fucking damn straight it is.
But no, I love sci-fi.
I should probably do some more reading. I feel like my brain has gone soft because I don't really read. I mean, I read video game news, but...
Video game news?
Yeah. Does that count?
You read video game news? Oh, that's funny.
I have to read a lot when I do these military exercises. In November, I was at one in a secured facility, so we didn't have our cell phones, and there's no internet. And there's times when whatever the little exercise that's going on, you're not doing anything. And so I went through 4 paperback books. I was just going through books, and it was just my way of escaping from what I was going through at that time. And they don't have batteries, so I can always take them into a secured facility.
Yeah. Well, you know what else people use to escape is listening to cool music. And I think Marko's got something to play.
I do. CJ Burnett is back with a new album called Heat in the Streets. Some great synthwave outrun action featuring amazing artwork by Jarend Hageman. And the album is available at cjburnett.bandcamp.com. I guess my favorite track off it, I've got a couple of favorites, but the one I'm going to play is Empty Highway.
All right, and that was Empty Highway by CJ Burnett from the album Hate in the Streets. And we're back, having a little Marko and Andy Power Hour. We're joined by patron Karl, a.k.a. Weyland Caskey Geospatial, just says he loves books because they don't have batteries. And his fiancée is a deputy, and she kicks his ass every night. That's what we established today. Is that true?
Absolutely. When it comes to the pistol range, she does.
Well, that's interesting then. Like, how did you guys meet exactly? Like, because you both sort of have these... I sort of associate sort of law enforcement and military stuff as kind of the same sort of family of jobs.
Yeah, we met online like everybody else seems to do these days, and we're on opposite ends of the state of Texas, and I was drilling down in the Austin area. Drilling is, I was serving up a guard unit down in the Austin area. I was attached to an aviation unit after I got back from Germany and matched with her, and she's like, oh, where do you live at? And I'm like, I live up here by the Red River. And she was like, oh. And so we ended up meeting halfway, and it was a pretty good date, but it was a little rocky, because of the distance. And then, got another date, and things went from there. And here we are almost 2 years this month, and we're going to get married this April.
Nice.
Well, that's a cute story. I like that. I've never done online dating.
I don't wish it on anybody. It's not easy. There was all sorts of oddities I'd found when I got into online dating.
Oddities.
Yeah, there were some odd stuff out there.
You're a very diplomatic guy. I like that.
Yeah, you are.
I don't know who's going to listen, and I don't want to get canceled, so.
But, like, were you specifically, like, was that one of your things you were interested in? Like, I'd like to find another lady in the service or something, or was that just, like, a coincidence?
She did have something down on her profile that said law enforcement supporter, because up in North Texas, there's a big university up there, and it's extremely left up there, and you'll get a lot of not making this up there. I remember this one girl's profile said, I don't want a military law enforcement, no bootlickers. And I'm like, not once have I ever licked a pair of boots in the military, but they had these things, all cops are bad, a.k.a. those would be like the key phrases people would have on there. And I'm messaging my coworker, and I said, man, I'm hoping to find the girl that's into guns and is in fitness and all that. And then boom, I met Pam, and she's the deputy, and I was like, okay, so it just kind of worked out.
Yeah, she probably went through the same thing as you did, like he's anti-police and all that. She's like, oh, Jesus Christ. And then she finally met you. I
don't think men have the same kind of standards. Like, even if you have, like, strong ideologies in a certain way, I feel like if there's, like, a lady who's attractive, you'll, like, forego all of that stuff.
What her stories have been was guys would say one thing and like, oh yeah, I don't want to have kids, or oh, I don't have a family, and then boom, some kind pops up, oh well, don't worry about my soon-to-be ex-wife, some kind of weird thing like that would pop up. And
I just mean, like, obviously the people are a bunch of liars, but I mean, I just picture, like, if there was some dude on there going like, oh, like, fucking all cops are bastards or whatever, and then, like, some lady shows up who's, like, hot and happens to be, like, in law enforcement or something, like, I don't think they would turn it down.
No, he's kind of right. I know where you're going with it.
What I'm trying to say is that men are horny, all right? And they'll do anything for some tail. That's what I've been saying on this show for years.
No, I know where you're going with it. It's true. It's like with a guy, it's always like, oh, what does he do for a living? Even if he's hot or good looking, they'll still ask, what does he do? With a girl, it's like, is she hot? Yeah. Because what she do for a living? I don't really give a shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't really matter. It's like...
Yeah.
That's the reason, like, you see guys in the military dating, army soldiers, and you'll see some of our standards are pretty low.
Hey, man, we got to go to a break.
Ready?
When we come back, we'll have more Marko and Andy Power Hour, all right? So let's go to a break, and we'll be right back.
Now that's smart. Did you know the first movie theaters opened like 120 years ago? And you know what the oldest rule of going to the movies is? Don't fucking talk! Jesus!
Hello, I'm Connor O'Toole, and me and the woman welcome you to Connor's Place, authentic Irish pub in the heart of the city. It's so dark in here that it feels like a fucking cave. Might as well be a cave. In fact, my woman suggested that we call it Connor's Cave. But then I was like, no one's going to visit a fucking dive called Connor's fucking Cave. And to be honest, considering our small clientele, maybe she was right. But it's too late now because I already had Gary Heather paint the sign. He's our local sign man. Gary's been part of the community for 50 years over at Gary Heather's Posters and Signs. And this fucking thing costs $780. So I ain't taking it down and I ain't returning it. Connor's Place. It's a fucking pub.
All right, we're back. It's the Marko and Andy Power Hour. I'm here with Marko, who's a cool guy. I'm here with Kyle, who's a cool guy. He just wants some ladies that shoot some guns, and I support him in his... I don't know what you would call that. Is there a word for that? Gun ladies? Is that a thing?
Don't be a bootlicker, Andy.
Yeah. I've never even understood what that expression is. So bootlicker specifically is an army
so
thing?
Bad.
Is it, though? Is that what it is?
I don't know. I'm guessing, it's someone that's subservient and is getting down on their knees and licking. It's like, that sounds more like a thing for people who have a boot or foot fetish, or stiletto.
Yeah. Hey, man. You lay off the stiletto.
Yeah, it's like you're sticking up for landlords. You're a bootlicker. Yeah,
that's right. Okay,
like
that's right.
It's like, it's weird.
Because when we talk about it in like military context, I always just associate, like boots, you know what I mean? But I wonder if it started in that sort of context, like the idea of your superior officer and like kissing their ass or whatever.
Yeah, it's possible.
Because you wouldn't call like someone who like sucks up to the king a bootlicker, right? Because the king wouldn't have been wearing boots. He would have been wearing... What the fuck would a king wear? Or maybe they would wear boots.
Sandals?
Yeah, fancy slippers.
Depends on the climate. Maybe sandals.
I guess it depends where this king is. Don't forget what I said.
If you're from Texas, maybe.
Yeah. The king of Texas. All right, so do you guys go and you do like target practice and shit?
We do, but not as often as we'd like to because just work schedule. We got a dog last year, about a year ago, and she's been a handful, that dog. She was a neighborhood stray.
Aww.
She's a pit bull mix. We took her in from a foster family in the neighborhood, and we noticed that she was getting a little chunky, and I was like, well, it's that COVID-19 weight. And she had a litter of pups inbound. And so about a month into it, so that was in February of 22, and she had pups, and so then was dealing with puppies in the house. And and she was not a very good mom. She didn't want to nurse them, so we had to find them new homes quickly. Great community down here. We live in a planned development, so there's all sorts of tech nerds here, Google, Facebook, whatever. We're able to take the little pups to better homes and having to train the dog. And
so how does your dog feel about cops?
She loves all the attention that she gets. Anytime we have some of the other deputies over, she just loves attention. She loves people.
Well, that's nice. That's what it's all about. It's also about listening to cool music. So I'd like to play this track, which is cool. It's from an artist called the Starfighter, from the album Simulation, and this track is called Interlude. All right, and that was Interlude by the Starfighter from the album Simulation. We're here, the Marko and Andy Power Hour. We're joined today by Karl. He's got a dog. The dog just had a bunch of puppies. The puppies have found new homes. Cold brew coffee. Did we talk about the steeping bag for the coffee?
Oh, a steeping bag. You know, whenever I do traveling, I always have to have my mug with me, especially in an army environment. As a warrant officer, I have to have my coffee mug. And I'm not going to drink hot coffee because you put it in those Yeti kind of mugs, it's just going to stay hot all day. And it's like, well, I can't. It's going to burn my mouth. So I got into these little steeping bags, and I'll just pour a bottle of water, put the bag in there, get up in the morning, throw the bag out, and boom, I've got myself coffee before everybody else has even gotten to the chow hall yet.
Ooh, the chow hall. How many ounces are we talking in that mug of yours?
I think it's a 24 or 30 ounce. I don't remember what I bought.
Ooh, that's a big fucking mug.
Never enough.
I always just need the biggest mugs. I've never liked the little tiny cups and stuff. Like, my grandma used to be really proper about what cups you were supposed to use at what time, you know? It'd be like, oh, that's an orange juice class for breakfast and stuff. And I'm like, I just drink everything out of a giant mug because that's always what I want. Like, just, I want the maximum stuff.
For an espresso machine, I will use the little espresso cups if I'm just having an espresso in the afternoon. And whenever I'm drinking the espresso, I don't know why, but I always think back to Scarface when Manny and Tony are there in the cantina across from the club, and Manny's just drinking the espresso late at night real slowly. And I was like, yep, that's me right there.
Yeah, man. They had some big dreams looking over at the Babylon Club, and like Tony knew that one day he's gonna get shot there. That's something I gotta watch again. I've not watched Scarface in a while.
I still don't understand the whole Peanut Man, that man in the club. You know, I understand the assassins, but it was like,
I fucking love that
this character.
No one. It's never been justified. Like, just if I went to the Babylon Club, there's just this dude dancing around to like Frank Sinatra music and like with this weird mask on. Like, I would just be like, what the fuck is this? Like, unless they're just assuming that the entire clientele at the Babylon Club is just fucking so coked out that, like, they're just sort of mesmerized by this. If I was there, I'd just be like, what the fuck happened tonight, dude? Like, there's, you know, like fucking Belzer was on doing stand-up comedy, and then all of a sudden this fucking this guy in like a peanut costume. But it is funny that he gets blown away, so,
Yeah.
you know, hey.
I wasn't sure if he was like there to help guide the assassins, like, even though I watched it probably like 4 or 5 times last year, thanks to listening to y'all's discussions on it before. I actually got to go watch it in the theater.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Love that movie.
It looks so good on Blu-ray. Like, when I got the Blu-ray, dude, like, it looks so good. The colors are just like so fucking vibrant. Like, it is my favorite movie, I think. I mean, obviously, it depends what mood you're in, you know, like different movies for different time periods. Obviously, there's some times where I'm more in the mood for, you know, like Back to the Future or whatever, but I just love Scarface. It's just such an awesome movie.
It's like my second favorite movie, I think.
I think it's because it has a complete story.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's like, a lot happens, and I love movies where the main guy fucking dies at the end. Like, that's just something that I always enjoy.
Well, it's kind of like a Greek tragedy in a way, because he came from nothing, and then...
Absolutely.
You know, like, he's built up, and you feel like, oh, just fucking calm down, dude. You've got everything if you just fucking take it easy. But he can't, you know, that's who he is. And then everything's just destroyed at the end. It's such a tragedy, you know.
I don't think there's that many movies where, when I actually think about Scarface, just logically, like, he is just a horrible... Like, I don't think there's another character in cinema that I sympathize with who is as horrible as him.
Yeah, that's true.
Walter White.
I hesitate to even use the word sympathize, really. Like, Walter White...
Empathize.
Yeah, like, I'm on Walter White's side up until the end of season 4, and then that's like that moment where... And they did that specifically, like, where you're like, oh, he's a piece of shit. And then
They did, yeah.
that's why I still like season 4 better than season 5, because for all of season 5, you're kind of like, I don't really like Walter White anymore.
Yeah, season 4 is amazing.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
God, it's so good. I love it too because it's got all the Scarface fucking connections as well, right?
As well, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Andy, did you ever get into, sorry, not to change the subject, Better Call Saul? Did you ever get into that show?
Okay, I think I'm 2 seasons behind.
Yeah.
So I got to go read the Wikipedia to remind myself what season I'm on, and then I'm gonna pick it up and finish it.
I'm really enjoying that show. I haven't watched any of the last season, but I've watched.
Oh no, it was great.
Yeah, it's really good. It's a little bit different, but it's kind of shot the same way, and like a lot of the same characters.
Yeah, it is really good. It's like, it's so crazy. There's so many shows like and things that are really good that I just sort of, when the season's over, I kind of forget about it, and it's like, there's been like 3 seasons since that last one you watched. I'm like, oh fuck, and I got to go back and. Anyway, listen.
It's the bottom line.
Marco, you got to play one last song here, and then we got to go.
I do. I got another dark synth track here from Karl Casey from his new album called White Bat. Is that 19? I think it's 19, right? X1X?
Yeah. You love this guy.
Well, yeah, I do. He's pretty good. And his music's free, and he lets you use it royalty-free as long as you credit him. I mean, what a generous guy, Anyway, his new album, White Bat 19, is really good, and the dark synth track I wanted to play off it is called Tyrant.
All right, let's do it. All right, and that was Tyrant by Karl Casey off the album White Bat 19. And that was a cool track, and we're going to wind down here, man. We got to wrap up this week's Power Hour with Marko and Andy. So we've been joined all episode by Kyle, a.k.a. Weyland Caskey Geospatial. Is there something you want to say, Kyle, before I hang up on you?
Well, not much. I think whenever discussing old movies, I always want to reference like an old movie that's kind of forgotten or isn't really discussed. And everybody talks about The Warriors, but one of my favorite, and I don't know if y'all have ever seen it, is Southern Comfort.
No, I've never even heard of it.
So I'm Googling it now.
It's from 81. It's got David Carradine's brother, Keith Carradine, in it.
Oh, cool.
Powers Booth is a Texas guardsman who goes over to the Louisiana Guard for drill weekend, and they end up in a scenario that they piss off the locals, and it's a kind of like the Warriors in the sense they're being chased through the bayou, but it's a pretty neat horror film, and it's kind of like Rambo. If you've seen parts of Rambo, you'll see some of that in there, but it's just one of those quiet movies that nobody's ever really discussed much, and they even got permission from the alcohol company to use that for the name.
Is it on Tubi?
Yeah, for free. I'm adding it to my list right now. Thanks for the recommendation, buddy.
Nice. Yeah, I always enjoy your recommendations, Marco, because there's just too much good stuff back then, not enough time.
There is, and I mean, there's movies like this I've never even heard of. Isn't it crazy? Like, I watch so much 80s and 70s stuff, and yet there's movies that pop up, like, people recommend, like yourself, and I'll be like, how the fuck do I not even know about this?
I still haven't signed up to Tubi. Like, I just have it on my TV.
I haven't used Tubi. I generally just hunt around on Amazon. And if it's not there, then I just have to go buy it. I have to have a physical copy at some point.
Oh, yeah. Well, Tubi is actually a great site. Like, it's crazy. Like, there's so much shit on there. And there's a lot of shit on there. But, like, it's free. And, like, you got to watch an ad every once in a while. But, like, half the time the ads don't even work. I should sign up for it, though, because I don't sign up. So I'm going to do that. That's on my to-do list.
You should. Then your recommendations get better, too, though, Andy. It will. Like, depending on what you watch, it'll really start giving you shit. That's good, because I go off pretty much off that, unless someone recommends something like Karl just did. And I still haven't... I mean, it's just constant stream of stuff, you know.
All right, cool. Well, then I'll do that, and then I'll add Southern Comfort to my list.
And also New York Ripper too, mate.
It's not on my Tubi.
What?
When I looked for it, it wasn't there.
Oh, that's probably because you're bloody Canadian.
Yeah. You know, it actually is. I don't even know why I'm laughing. It's true. Anyway,
I'm turning into an American anyway. I know, I sound like... Anyway, whatever.
Well, you still sound Australian to me. That's all that matters. But look, we gotta go. So listen, Kyle, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, well, thanks for the awesome music and banter. Y'all have been super helpful over the years, all through my Army stuff, my long drives throughout Texas and America, so it's really been helpful. Where I'm going, I might be doing some driving, so I might have to just keep listening to the back catalog of Beyond Synth, because I don't know how many hours there are right now.
I mean, if there's like 350 episodes, and even if they were at least 1 hour each, that's...
I think 701 hours is what I have on my phone right now.
What? Jesus.
Holy crap.
Yeah, that's just 322 episodes. I haven't downloaded them all yet.
Look at that, man. That's fucked.
A lot of content, Andy. Yeah.
That's almost a month nonstop of Andy Last with Beyond Synth.
Nice.
Jesus, and like about like 15 of those days will be just like the exact same sentences, talking about GoldenEye and bringing up the same fucking movies and like this. Oh well, whatever.
GoldenEye was a good game, though.
It is a good game. Listen, it was lovely chatting with you. Tune in next time to Beyond Synth Radio. I don't know what show will be next, but hopefully it'll be very exciting and you'll all enjoy it. And don't forget to support the show on patreon.com/BeyondSynth, like Kyle here, who's a cool guy. And you can come on and join Marko and I. So that's the story. Say goodbye, Marko.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Karl. It was a pleasure chatting with you. See you, everybody. Thanks. I don't know. Why do you always laugh when I say she?
Well,
every time he does this, and he just laughs at me. Is it that funny?
No, it's because like
every time he just pauses and then he laughs.
It's always funny. I think there needs to be like a little light to know when you need to talk.
Yeah, Andy, can we arrange that?
we don't have the budget right now. Okay, that's future tech. Kyle, I'll give you the last word.
Well, thanks for the opportunity to be on the program here, and I look forward to listening to more of this. And happy trails, y'all.
Happy trails, y'all.
And that's the bottom line.
Beyond Synth Radio is produced by Andy Last. Check the show notes for more information on the musicians featured on the show. Beyond Synth is made possible by listeners like you. Consider supporting Beyond Synth at patreon.com/BeyondSynth. Thanks for listening.